Hi, my name is Naiylah Prier. I'm a junior biology pre-med major, and for this research project, I decided to dive deep into one of my favorite dystopian books and movie series that I watched as a kid, and it was a Terminator series. Um, I was thinking, Terminator is such a classic movie, and I think we can really dive deep into the storyline and the background of it more than just it's a futuristic robot coming to kill you. I feel like this um, movie kind of has a lot of real world applications that we can kind of dive deeper into and get a better understanding of. So, take a trip with me to discover whether or not the Terminator, the tech in the Terminator, or tech in general, if tech is a friend or a foe. Some of you may be wondering, why the Terminator? What's the point? Why is it relevant? Well, the Terminator has some very, very important aspects that we can actually apply to our daily lives. Not even our daily lives, but our current situation in life as of right now in 2023. This movie kind of hit on a lot of things like war and the collapse of a society, and the common denominator between these two things is the intense boom of technology. The AI that was created by Skynet is what kind of jump started the birth of the Terminators and their need to rule the world. I think this is really relevant because as of right now, AI technology is starting to become a lot more prevalent and cause a lot of issues, especially for people who are um, artists. Is being able People are being able to create new things and create different stories, create different lives and whatnot, as well as being able to create AI now is being able to create very convincing photos, which is kind of scary. I'm not gonna lie, of us. So it's just creating an issue that can be implemented in many, many different negative ways that's going to severely harm society as we know it. And if we continue going in this direction, we might end up in the state that the Terminator is in. AI is going to be AI, and the boom of new technology will be the cause of the death of the world as we know it. So before we dive deep into the dystopia, let's kind of give you a brief synopsis on what the dystopia actually is. So the Terminator is set in Los Angeles, 1980, during the year 1984 primarily, but the whole basis of the story comes from somewhere in the United States in 2029. This 2029 setting is a completely destroyed world. There's nothing living, there's no greenery, it's just all bleak and dark and scary looking, with weapons being fired at every point and second. These weapons are, well, this bleak land is as a result of the creation of an AI which was created by Skynet somewhere before this point and somewhere after 1984, which created these Terminators, which are cybernetic robots who are seemingly indestructible. These robots and this AI pushed humanity to the brink of extinction, to the point where there's only a handful, and in order to fight back, they created a resistance. This resistance was led by none other than John Connor. John Connor was the only one brave enough to fight back and be able to actually succeed. And because of this success, the AI sent one of their newest models of Terminators, the one who is close, who looks like a human on the outside, and is actually a Terminator on the inside, back to the future, back to the past, I'm sorry, so that they can kill John Connor's mom before he was ever born to ensure that the AI win the war. It's important to note that by this AI being looking human on the outside, it allows him, this Terminator, to infiltrate human areas a lot easier, and it makes it harder for humans to spot the difference between the original models and this newer model, making it harder for humans to survive and easier for the AI to win. when talking about the movie The Terminator, the one thing concept that you cannot get away from is the fact that it's a dystopia. And to understand how it's a dystopia, you have to understand what a dystopia is. A dystopia is a world or a place, or even in the story, that has been described as being a wasteland. It is desolate. Is no living thing there. It's just not hopeful. It's not helpful. It's the opposite of a utopia, which is typically a real positive, great place to be in. This world is so bad. There is complete injustice. There's suffering everywhere. Nobody's happy, and there is an oppression of a certain group of a specific over a group of people. Period. These worlds are usually arise after some type of apocalyptic event, whether it be the nukes going off or some type of deadly world virus that creates zombies or whatever. It will end up sometimes in a dystopian land. And these worlds come, usually what happens is that somebody who is hungry for power comes in and takes power for themselves and creates this really, really bad lifestyle for everybody who is not a part of the ruling class, essentially. You often expect from dystopias to have this general bleak overview. One common trope among dystopian novels and books and media is that they all kind of give this setting where it's kind of gray and not pretty. It just it has a lack of color. And I believe, for me, color is very symbolistic, especially when it comes to media and in writing. So when something has a lack of color, it's important. It just means that, because a lot of color has a lot of different meanings. Like, some colors bring hopefulness and positive vibes, where in dystopia you want the opposite of that. In the case of the Terminator specifically, it's absolutely a dystopia. First, we're going to talking off about the look of the setting, the background, how it looks, how it feels. This setting, as you can see in this picture, was a clip from the movie. It's very dark. It's no light. The only light that you see is really from the beams from the robots and the lasers that are firing from the resistance, which is in this bottom corner, and the robots in the top, where this little mushroom cloud is. This is a very dark background, and you don't really see many plants. You don't see anything living other than the humans, of course. And with that being said, it is very few humans for that, because the AI, the robots, the Terminators have pushed into so far to so little of a population from a world of what, almost 1.2 billion or 7.1 million. I don't remember. But yes, from a great society to such a small person that they have to rely on a resistance in order to survive. This is also a great example of a post-apocalyptic world. In this case, I believe the apocalypse was the creation, initially started with the creation of the AI through Skynet, which created robots who became self-aware, which is an issue we need to be paying attention to, because we do have AI right now in our world right now. So keep your eye on that. And this AI ended up wanting to rule the world for themselves and keep the earth for them and not for the humans, essentially, which is why they pushed them to the brink of extinction. And it's also an oppressive regime. The Terminator machines, they are the oppressors, and the humans are the oppressed. They are living in a in a completely injustice world. They are suffering so badly, and it's just evidenced by the consistent war that they are going on, especially by this picture right here. Because we're in an age where our technology is increasingly exponentially fast, it is important for us to understand that the things that we see in the media could possibly come true. I have this story where Uber in California decided to test the artificial intelligent cars on the roads, and they didn't even do it with permission from their state in California. So that could pose a whole lot of issues. What happened was these cars ended up blowing through multiple red lights, potentially putting the passengers in harm. Who's to say the AI in the car didn't know what knew exactly what they were doing? Who's to say they didn't? We just don't know. The AI in these different technologies are smart. They are learning from anything and everything that we do. There is AI in our social media, from TikTok to Facebook to Instagram, learning what we like and what we don't like, and learning who we are as a person. Even learning our faces through the cameras that are in our phones or the security cameras that are around our world. these things are learning humans and who they are, and they may be thinking, these people aren't great. We are the superior race. We are providing the AI with so much knowledge that could potentially come back to bite us in the butts. And honestly, that's essentially the same thing that happened in the Terminator. Skynet was built by humans. It was made by humans, and it realized that its creators they just weren't it, and they had to go. What is it bad? Yes, but is it a possibility that can happen? Also, yes. All in all, if we continue to put our everything in our daily lives into the hands of technology, we can easily just be just as oppressed by the technology as we are by any other bad person in real life. Because we have so heavily reliant on it, and they are learning us and our needs and our wants and our desires, they are essentially taking what we're giving them and turning it into something much, much more, which can turn around, like I said, and bite us in the butt and making our lives essentially a dystopia. It can be, our lives can end up being very oppressive. It can be very bleak. It can be very dark, and it's just not a good thing for us. Before I let you go, I want you guys to say thank you guys for watching my video on the Terminator and AI, and I also want you guys to think. I want you guys to think about this. With all the technology that we have today and all the different things that we are assigned on to with our personal information and whatnot, and how many things actually get to see our faces um and our personal bodies and whatnot. Just think about, can this affect me in the future? Is this technology watching me? Kind of like the song "Somebody's Watching Me." Ignore my singing, but yeah. So just take that with you before you go, and I'd like to say thank you so much once again. I'm Naiylah Prier, and I hope you enjoyed this video.